In today's review video, I'm going to talk about Kilt Protocol, which have successfully deployed to Rokoko testnet, which means that they're now Parachain ready for when the Parachain auctions launch on Polkadot. Now, how awesome is that? And of course, I use my really handy guide thanks to Polka Warriors on Twitter, who have basically summarized how the Rokoko Parachain waiting list actually works. And here we can see that we've got 7 parachains that are currently running on Rokoko V1, and this was updated on the 29th of January of this year, 2021. And we've got Kilt, Fala Network, Akala, and Plasm. And then we've got Tick, Trick, and Track, which I'm not really sure what they're about. I'm possibly thinking that there may have something to do with some testing that Polkadot wanted to deploy just to see if these actually work fine. But of course, we've got the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th batches, which we all know who they are. But then we don't know who the 6th batch is, right? We don't know which projects are going to be part of the 6th batch. So we'll find out about that possibly later, maybe even as it gets closer to the 5th batch. But nevertheless, Kilt Protocol, to summarize it, are a credential protocol for Web 3.0. Now you can find them on Polka Project. As always, Polka Project is a great source of information. I strongly recommend it, but just be careful because not everything that you see on Polka Project means that they're actually building on Polkadot. In this case, they are. We know because we can verify it through multiple sources. Now they're substrate based, they're under the data tab, and also hiring and grant. And one way to actually check if a project is building on substrate is to go to the Polkadot.js wallet. And then over there, you're going to be able to see it under testnet or under the Rokoko. Again, with Rokoko, we've already got the list. But let's say there's a project building on substrate but doesn't want to become a parachain. Then you can actually track down that they're building on substrate because you can use the Polkadot.js browser-based extension to connect to it. So it's pretty awesome because it basically means that the whole ecosystem interoperates and you can reuse that same wallet extension to connect to your various accounts, to your various dApps, or to your various blockchains within Substrate. But to move on here and continue and talk about Kilt Protocol. Now, like I was saying, Kilt Protocol are actually all about Web 3.0's identification, right? At the moment, the issue is that, for example, if you sign up to an account on a website, you have to send that company your details, your personal details. They get stored on a centralized server. So what are Kilt trying to do? Kilt are trying to change the way your data is being managed. And it's best explained in this short clip that has actually been created by Kilt Protocol themselves. Let's watch this for a moment.
World. Kilt Protocol allows the user to claim any kind of characteristic about herself to a trusted entity that we call a tester. If the attester considers this claim to be true, he can certify it. He hands out the certificate to the user, called claimer, and stores a hash value of the certificate on the Kilt blockchain. As certificates sometimes become invalid, attesters can revoke them at any time on the Kilt blockchain. Once the claimer received her certificate, she can present it to the services she wants to use. If the verifier of a service trusts the attester, he can check the validity of the certificate by comparing it to the hash on the blockchain. Since the attester is not involved in the verification process, the behavior of the claimer remains unknown to him. When showing her certificate to a verifier, the claimer can even hide all sensitive data, which is not necessary for the verification. That's how Kilt protects the user's privacy, by design. With Kilt, the claimer has full data sovereignty, since only she is in control of her certificates. As it is impossible to restore the personal data from the hash, hacking the blockchain would be useless. If data is no longer stored in centralized silos, companies can no longer build monopolies with the amount of data they own. This whole new level playing field would foster innovation beyond tech giants. Kilt is suitable for any use case where a certificate is issued by a trusted entity. Not only individuals, but also organizations or objects can claim characteristics about themselves. Since those claimers only choose attesters who are trusted by many verifiers, Kilt establishes a market where trust can be monetized and creates countless new business opportunities. Kilt is the missing technological link between the growing need for self-sovereign data and interoperability and the actual solutions. It is now in the hands of political and business leaders to provide society with alternatives to...
So yeah, I mean, this was pretty much it, like pretty much summarizing what Kilt Protocol was all about. But what's interesting here is, like I was saying before, is that they're already on Rokoko testnet. They're trying to become a parachain. They will be taking part in that parachain auction, but they're also gonna take part in the Kusama parachain. So here we can see in the roadmap section that they are planning to launch SpiritNet on Kusama. So I'm assuming here that SpiritNet is going to be the name of Kilt on Kusama, because as we know with many other projects that are trying to become parachains and are first deploying to Kusama, such as ChainX, for example, will be called Sherpa X on Kusama. It could be the same here, like Moonbeam is called Moon River on Kusama. So yeah, Kilt is going to be called SpiritNet. This is my assumption here. So this is just something I wanted to show you. One thing I've noticed here is in relation to the parachain. Why Q2 of 2021 for Kusama? Because we know that the parachains are supposed to start, or the parachain auctions are supposed to start in Q1 of 2021. So why is this roadmap different? Are they trying to become a parachain on Kusama later? Could it be that they're not ready yet and still developing? So maybe they just want to do more testing on Rokoko. I mean, that's possible, right? But we can see here that in January they have launched Kilt on Rokoko. So the fact they're saying here they're waiting until Q2 of 2021 does tell me that they still got some work to do. Now, you can get your blockchain up and running with Kilt. So of course they will need companies to actually decide to use them, right? Until companies use them, this project is just a project, it's just a blockchain project, right? Just like any other identity project or project that tries to generate certificates for a user or things like that. But they are Berlin based, by the way, over in Germany. So we can see that there are multiple integrators here that have already started their integration with them. So certified Kilt integrators. There's this company here, Galani Projects, Sprylab Technologies, Unit B, and IXMAP. So only a few of them here, and obviously most of these are all in Germany, just because it's probably easier for them to build partnerships locally, right? Now, one other thing that they're working with here is Polimec. So what is Polimec? Well, it's the Polkadot liquidity mechanism. It's a fundraising mechanism for the Polkadot ecosystem. So what basically happens is it generates liquidity on the Polkadot network. So it is an open source blockchain system designed to help get liquidity into Polkadot based projects that are not yet ready to sell transferable currencies onto their own technology. It is a concept like the ERC20 smart contract mechanism, but for the issuing pre-currencies on Polkadot or Kusama, it enables Polkaverse projects to issue transferable pre-coins before go live of the mainnet. So here I would say that Polimec have a lot of competitors, because we know there are projects like PolkaSwap, for example, which are going to be offering liquidity too. For swapping tokens and stuff. But unless they're referring to a different type of liquidity here, then I would say that they have a lot of competition. I'm sure PolkaSwap are not going to be the only ones. Also Polkastarter, which are already functional right now. So yeah, I mean, these guys, any projects that are just working to help with provide liquidity on Polkadot, I don't know how well they're really going to do, just because they're going to have to compete with giants. And then there's also Akala Network, which also allows you to supply liquidity through their dApp. So as you can see here, lots of them are doing that. We know with Ethereum there are a ton as well, and they're constantly more and more being created. So this is just something to keep in mind here, that they're working with this, but nothing that I'm super bullish on. Is nothing special. It's just that it could be that Kilt are deliberately working with Polimec only in order to generate that liquidity. Now, one interesting thing here is they've actually got a demo that you can test out with how the identity features work. So here I've actually created an identity, a test identity. As you can see, it generates a passphrase for me here. It generates a Kilt address, a public key. So this was basically just a test one that I did here, and then you can add the DID, the digital identity. It generates it, it shows it like this. This is the document that it generates, and then apparently you can use this in various features here. Now, not only does it generate a public address for you, but you can also use this within claims, within attestations, delegations, and so on. So that's pretty cool. This is just like to get a grasp, understanding of how the Kilt wallet is going to work and how your identity is going to be stored. And I'm assuming there's going to be a mobile version of this as well. So that's pretty interesting here. Now, the next thing I want to take a look at are the tokenomics for Kilt. So the Kilt token is required to perform certain actions within the Kilt network. The issuance of the initial tranches of Kilt token is done by bot labs, and then the protocol network would allow the creation of block rewards that were distributed in the following predefined mechanism. Now, there is a chance for the Kilt token to be listed on exchanges after the launch of the Kilt mainnet, so that's expected, of course, because they want to make that tradable. But the Kilt token could be used for providing safety on the Kilt blockchain and having access to write to the secure block space for trusted data. Now, the utility of Kilt token can be broken down into the following cases. Paying angel share gas when writing an attestation, so basically transaction fees, right? Paying the attestation fee, so the fees as well for the attestation, the cost is also paid using Kilt. So as you can see, there are quite a few use cases here. You can register a new C-type, which is a claim type on the blockchain. You can create a hierarchy of trust, including the private curated registry, manage the delegations, create and setting up a token curated attester, and so on. So quite a lot of things here, as you can see. Now, during the whole life of the Kilt network, 1 billion Kilt tokens are going to be created, which implies a finite token supply. So it's not infinite like others which are inflationary, right? Now, 40% of the token supply would be pre-mined and distributed before the launch. So that's 400 million. Now, the remaining 600 million of the available token supply would be minted over time and would be rewarded to agents that conduct valuable work for the network. The tokens for the block reward would be minted as needed, created out of thin air, according to predetermined rules, and the block reward function would be defined in such a way that more tokens are released in the first years in the network life than later to incentivize adoption. So we've seen that with projects like ChainX, where you're generating 50 PCX per block in the first 2 years, then it's going to get halved to 25 PCX. So this is just basically following the Bitcoin model. So again, Kilt are trying to do something similar here. So yeah, the nodes, the validators are going to be generating those blocks. They're going to be validating the transactions, and they're going to be rewarded. So that gets spread across. So yeah, we can see only 400 million are going to be launched at the beginning, and then from there we're going to be distributing on a constant basis until all 1 billion are out. So yeah, their idea is that the distribution is going to take 50 years, right? So once that happens, then that's pretty much it. That would be like the total number of tokens that would be issued, right? So they're basically saying here that the ecosystem would be pretty mature by then, so you wouldn't really have to worry about more tokens being distributed, right? But 50 years is a very long time. I mean, even 2 years is a long time in crypto. Even 6 months can be a long time. So that's definitely plenty of time, right? But overall, I do think that they have a good chance. The fact that they're also early, the fact that they've launched on the Rokoku testnet as part of the first batch, and also the fact that they're going to be in the spotlight. So these guys have a chance of bonding to a parachain, just like Akala, just like Plasm. I know that Plasm are working on a different kind of method, and also Akala, like the most hyped DeFi in the space. But it's just that being the first does give you that extra edge, that extra opportunity. Now, it does not mean that they're definitely going to bond from the beginning, right? Because as we've seen here, they're not planning to take part in the Kusama Parachain auction until Q2. And it's actually estimated that the Polkadot Parachain auctions are going to take place in Q2. So they will be a bit slower in that sense, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be having this ready as soon as the Parachain auctions on Kusama kick off, right? This product. It could take them a while. But overall, I do think that their idea is awesome. Also, they're based in Germany. They've got a strong German team. So I do want to take a quick look at that as well here. If we actually go to their team, what's interesting here is a lot of these people from Kilt have actually worked for the Web3 Foundation before, so this gives them a bit of an edge and more credibility from my point of view. So we've got the founder and CEO here, which is Ingo Rube. He's the CEO of Bot Labs, now the company that develops Kilt Protocol. As CTO of Hubert Burda Media, he initiated the open source CMS Thunder, and he was previously IT project director at Axel Springer. Ingo is a founding member of the International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications and served on the board of directors of the Drupal Association. Now we've got Christine here, who's worked as a CMO for the Web3 Foundation. And then we've got more people that worked in the Web3 Foundation here. Where did I see that? I saw one more. There we go. Casper. He used to be the CFO of the Web3 Foundation. Okay, so we've got 2 people here from the Web3 Foundation that have decided to help with the Kilt protocol. And then of course we've got the developers here, and they've all got like LinkedIn pages associated with them. So this just basically tells you that there is a lot of credibility with this project, right? So yeah, this is it from my point of view. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Kilt protocol in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you don't. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.